Yo, Ebusia, me ma wakwa ba biom at the bad revelations life is so someone munim. Africa will be great again. It is a woman say, and you maybe be you know that. And yet, me na be catch you. And you know na mabo Roland, any Mr. Kwesi Api or Mutri, so to me a friend Drasini. And that's apokali omu no mu cause problem na ye call off no nti se mu se bibia enye stable na ma bo mutri su dede said ya mo John action no ya na ono nso ma ye mu di bia bobo boniti so sa e de ama no ho ma ankrankra bia akwa aba na me bisa Mr. FP Mensah say mu nim say ono ye guest ende maka topic aye ko discuss how to identify and establish a business spiritually. And no, any ever discuss about me be sending 2 random questions be and sunny the show no at was until na me be sunny say focus yen ko back na ye ko back na ya kosum ye nananom som na e den na e den rituals na den na omo de ye rituals no e no na ye question na me be sunny until me say be sunny say question na ebie mu na we anu me nim ba bia edru ya internet ne ye rough until na masan akostarte e free hobby man krankra bia akwaba Martin Esifi Makwaba. Naku Shikabotwe. Oh, my Poco darling. How are you? And Mr. FP Mensah, yen to us baby now can yen and nanomo somono.
Yeah.
People say we should go back. Say yeah, call back. And pampa said the omo kana. Yeah, call back. As a den and I cosum the den ye de quack rituals and now a den and no more de ye. I answer ye de quack ye.
So, American won't say. Yawo bosomsom once I say yana nam som abosom once yawo bosomsom and yawo traditional worship once yana nam they were more connected to nature and then they use the elements, the 4 elements of nature and amode som obo ade no so say ye say go back to a som yana nam som and then we have to pick it up from the connection with nature and using the element to worship nature. For instance, yawo tell maka yawo bosomsom honi our bibi. Those who want to worship me, I don't condemn anything. Those who want to worship it. But I personally don't subscribe to bowing down to graven images because the energy which is seated within our being is much more greater than anything crafted by the hands of man. So a man cannot create something and then intend to bow down. Yes, bow down and worship that thing. So I don't subscribe to it. But I'm not saying it's wrong. Those who want, that's their belief system. But you cannot degrade your level of consciousness to an entity because the creator cannot worship his creation, or the creator doesn't worship the creature. It is the creature that's supposed to worship the creator. So allegorically, we worship God because God created us. So if we also create a deity or something, or something like that, that thing has to worship us, and then we intend worshiping that thing as our God. So I'm not saying it's evil, but what I'm trying to say, that is the people's choice. But from where I'm coming from, dealing with nature, we came out of nature. So if you want to go back, the original traditional worship, the original worship of Yenanano Nankasano, apart from those who use the Honino, was using nature, natural elements, to worship the creator through nature. So they did things like they poured libation, they use water, they use sweet wine, they use alcohol to pour libation to nature, calling on all the deities that the divinity placed them within our space, because every jurisdiction, every boundary, every deities control those jurisdictions. Until you need to go to the creator through those demigods and not through deities, and that is how our tradition ancestors worship the creator. So if we are to go back, then even if you walk through the Bible very well, Christianity na denounce because of indoctrination. But Osha Bible says that pour strong wine at my holy place and call upon me, God, that I will not answer thee. It's in the Bible. So pouring of libation that our ancestors used as a means of worshiping, it's also enshrined in the Bible. Jacob before Jacob put up the got the name Bethel, where he laid his head on a stone and then had an encounter with the angel. They said they poured libation and then poured oil on the stone and called the place Bethel. You see, but due to theological indoctrination, and now we see the whole traditional worship, minus the Honino as evil. I think last week, me call office, and Timothy Kama me drive me Kosana. The energy started talking to him. Say, I say, unim say, one what to me convincing nipa daseni say using natural elements for their good, no, is evil or demonic, no. They've done a great disservice to humanity. Especially, to be specific, Christian, because this is the body of, we are not against the body of Christ, but we want the good of the body of Christ. We want the good of the church. Because the church is spiritually bankrupt. And the catch me say, those who are successful in convincing human beings, say, Sabia, Bibi, a house spiritual, now, but now you share herbs, say, Fedjare. No, they've demonized that concept. Or say, anytime you demonize anything in nature, you are demonizing the creator of that nature. Because if, let's say, Susumasa, tree hyssop, was created by God, and it has its physical edible properties, it has its healing properties, and it has its magical or miraculous or spiritual properties. Now, if something happens to me, we have three needs. Either it's a physical need, we want to eat something, health need, or spiritual need. So all the plants has these three dimensions. Inti se bia BBS na bia obi atumi duro. And obi ahu se no, e do na ya to no, o de susuma sahye nso na de you no dware a, e be ma duro na kwa. E be ma spirit na e ha no, e be twe ne ho a. Na obi tumi convince o say, wo dware sa haban no, e ye bosonsoma. The person has gone because the person catch you say, even your boss Diano is demonic. That was what they were telling me. So one say, we need to go back to our root, but we need to go back to the exact root. And the actual worship, actually was traditional worship, worshiping God through nature. And that's how they worship God. They don't say they pay obeisance to nature. They respected everything within the environment. They just don't do anything now. You don't go for fishing. You fish the coast now. You don't go for fishing. You forest side. You say forest. There are certain things you don't go and do in the forest because they respected nature, and they give nature all the due that it deserves. But see, I know everything's through what we call civilization. I don't know what kind of civilization it is anyway, but what we call civilization and education in EBA, because I know that EBA is supposed to enhance the way you do your thing, not to condemn. But yes, on our side, theology has come to condemn everything that is around us. I remember a lady came to me, and our issue be into me bath emano, and oko fi say me say I'm drying for 7 days. Do you know say ni nuanom tu no fifi because of the bath, because they are Pentecostals, because almost say a demonic.
Almost say brings me to my next question. Now you are saying you gave somebody a bath. The last time you came here, you had a candle and you cleansed the candle from bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so me who for that water and me who honey any oil ne what have you. Cleansing a candle from neto eba from saying a cleansing from her at the kwa saying. I have done a bit of my young witchcraft for 3 years, so I know these things. That is how they teach us. Okay. When you want to perform rituals and you are using anything to perform the rituals, either you soak it in salt water or you cleanse it from the bottom to middle to end and then middle to end. That's how we cleanse candles or whatever we are going to use for rituals. And then niyama we see we any waka sesi anso say woma obi so nkoye baaf ni hade sesi right now wankasa wo ye den exactly are you? What exactly are you? I'm asking you this question because there are people who have come here meaning said they are good numerology, so say astronomy, so say what we call them. Meaning great teachers are on my platform. So I from deep within my soul, I know if these people should teach with speed. But within a short time, almost spiritual people, they are doing these things. So Mimbisa Weda, and then you are here. Tell us exactly what are you? What are you? This sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a complex question because if I want to answer who I am personally, I am a light bearer. I've told you before. Yeah, but a light bearer is basically, light simply means intelligence. Okay, so you have intelligence. There are so many things I know I can do. But you see, normally when they come to me, I tell the reason why when I go to public, I don't talk about those things. It's because of the question you ask. That's why I give the signal. Like I wouldn't actually sit down and talk about it. Because my mission is not to drive people to that essence. My mission is to let people discover who they are and realize their God self. But people who say, "Be no yare." What you say? Oh, paracetamol. Because oh man, no self-realization. To man, paracetamol and because the mechanism also needs to be balanced in order to have focus and concentration to house a healthy mind, a healthy soul, in order to do his meditation and practice. So there are so many things I can do. Some of them even I don't even want to do it at all. When you ask some of the guys they work with me, they know. Those who are close to me know. There are so many things, but because of my call and my mission, I try as much as possible to put these things aside. Like this, I'm coming to teach. Like it was something that was given to me to teach. If not for that, I wouldn't go to that area. So when somebody comes to me, so Mr. say, okay, for me to my but the central cause is that all these things are going to leave it here. The most important thing is the development of your soul, because that is me, my mission. So for me, I am purely into the development, helping people develop their soul. Last time I make catch on say, in confidence say, in comfort helps for internet, soon to me share. Now when you see me name, make me share over and over again. But the point is that get the most authentic, the most dependable, unfailing power, and that is inside of you. All other ones are secondary. They are there, you can use them. But when you discover yourself, then those things have more value, because all those things are zero, no matter how you say it, and you are the one orchestrating, you are the one controlling, you are the one doing it. If you don't discover yourself, then all those things you do become zero. But discover yourself, harness the power within yourself, and then it will get to a time you don't even. I was making a teaching on my network. I said all these things, they are necessary because for now you've not developed your elemental energies, so they are necessary. Now, Mr. So to play mu. Not playing the crash. I think I'll be baby they can't see No, you can't do that. And that's what an accident be here. You should be able to have the power within yourself to speak for the universe to hacking onto your call. So personal development is what I am in to teach people. That being aside, on the path, I learned so many things apart from.
I know, dear. I had to say doctor.
Yes.
Doctor, no what best specializing work. Say be or pediatrician, but it doesn't mean say any other sicknesses. But
that is not my focus.
But that's not your focus.
Unless people, you know how human beings are.
But I know this thing, but social media, social media put a lot of stress on you shifting a bit to this level, be honest. Because I know these people. They have changed a lot of great people. Social media has changed a lot of great people. It has shifted a lot of people from their lines.
Frankly speaking, yes. But I am very resolute because once like for instance, even some of the people I work with, they call it quick fix. Or say quick fix. They say they normally call me Bishop. I don't know where they got that title from.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
So that's a nickname they call me. Bishop Charlie. At least some quick fix that when people come quickly to get. I'm saying no. When you don't take time, it will drift you off your call. You understand? So that is how it is. The pressure is there. But for me, so there was a day we were discussing in the office. We had a meeting. We were discussing. So I was quiet. I bent my head like I was quiet. Where they were giving their reasons, everything. Then the energy told me not to look too authoritative. Give it a space. That was when somebody came and started considering those I have the intuition to consider. I said, give it a space. But in the center of all that you do, don't forget that your message is self-realization. So anybody that comes to you, you must talk to the person about self-realization. So even when you come to me, before I do, there are lots of people come to me, I watch you, I say, when you go, say, she's going to disturb me. Who can ever told me, I don't know how to, they send your force. You understand? But there are some people, when they speak, genuinely they have a problem. And even when they tell you that, no, assist this person. So I tell you, fine, this is the situation. I don't do it. Don't go and tell somebody I do anything. You need this. If you like, go and buy it and bring it. Then I'll show you how to. As a matter of me, I won't do it for you. I'll let you get the materials and I'll show you how to do it. So basically, for me, I'm not into all these things, but my main focus is on several. Because if you don't take time, the world will change your course.
Okay, so what I'm saying is known to you.
Oh, very, very. And they've been cautioning me every time.
Okay, great. You are watching the biggest and the largest. That's me and Mr. Mensah. But Mama wants to wait here, now they are bollywood now because I know he's a great teacher. Inti, me person me who's a failure. Wadani, one year drew nurse. I drew bubu to say, hey,
thought.
Your friend say, I don't know Mubuna Asana.
That will not happen.
Thank you so much for knowing this. It's great to know. And yeah, we are discussing a episode na ye the other day. No one I heard to us and then obetray said ya will be establish your business. Niyama will be yes spiritually and sana wa establish it. You may be aware nyema will be and so a yema will be to make kwa command 1 whole hour not the teaching na we are maybe a line so no. Now to keep the questions coming and all that. Into Mr. FP Mensah take us through. A dear ben ye be na ye businesses ni ye be establish it na aye juma home afen because I know say what the spirit conceived give birth to the physical. We ye quote way but most people don't actually don't know how to decode it by metiasia kakra. Into no fire fame eniyama wo be ye business e say wonhwe. Ebi a wuta asase kra na akoye bibi a dia won share and we are not dia odi aba na you added then we open the lines for questions.
Okay. So that I'll say.
Obi anfa ni pen ni paper o. Ni pen ni paper. Who ni pen ni paper so you watch it now wasan watch it sa till you get it. Why? Keep watching. Okay, mpacho.
Okay, the whole idea is say inside I realized that a lot of businesses are suffering. And once we live in a monetized society that if you don't have good financial standing, it is even difficult to concentrate on spiritual development and spiritual practice. And I also noticed that because of lack of appropriate knowledge and appropriate information, some people are taking advantage of those vulnerable people whose businesses are suffering and they are extorting from them and making them much more poorer. Because be about one business in Nigeria. So it's fine. You want to extort some fine. But if you're talking about business, I say, then spiritual exercise, and most of the things they do too doesn't work. What me I say, I thought, say, no, let me do something that the people can do it on their own. Secondly, I realized that a lot of people too, I have met a lot of people who came to me, and long before even I came out, they've committed their businesses to certain energies. Now the requirements now at the moment they can't meet the 6 requirements.
6 months, 1 year,
yes. So your way, so your way, so your way. Every obi crowd and appear could be the maker say or say spirit and say nanka so by every 2 weeks one back into say and say back a hot busum feel every week. You understand? I'm say hey and the you understand? So we were talking this morning. So the point is that I thought no, why don't the little I know. Okay, those it's not my mainstream, but the intuition came a little and let me open up for people too. Because me say me need you man advert that. Me do me be in me call radio station that. Me file letter and call office be other. No, I don't do that. But all the places are set businesses. All the other businesses around says that me you say draw. If you must say me your more customers nyama. It is because of how you go about your business. Now, what am I trying to say that? Once a business starts on one thing, anybody owning business, before you start a business, you do what you call feasibility studies. Because you just don't wake up and do business. We have conscious feasibility studies and unconscious feasibility studies. Feasibility studies, then say, oh, the wide dream call you man obey and say, yeah, na say, and yet, why should you be yebi? Napakano or coso and on coso, obia yebi or tumpo and say, tumpo. Those are feasibility studies. Then, Brunica Semifreno, protocol Semifreno feasibility studies. Into be or on Shadan, and I've been say, why employ a consultant, say on your feasibility study. But on our didn't hey, my sister will turn soon, no sister when you scout, a way soon to so when you scout, in soon as a business more. Then also I decided, okay, then, it's an unconscious feasibility studies. Yeah. Now, in most cases, a lot of people do the fiscal feasibility study because that is what we are taught at school. Now, the IACASAS is here and we are looking at certain class investments, so the discussion will be a little bit up. But it still benefits the small scale and then petty traders and all those things. When you go, you catch us a feasibility studies, it's more fiscal. You change a fiscal aspect. You do things like index rate saturation. Maybe you establish a business. What is the market scope? What is your target audience? Affordability. Access to raw materials and all those. These are called feasibility studies. After coming to a conclusion and having a recommendation of the viability of that business in that location, you conclude that that business is a viable business and a profitable one to start with. That is what they do. Now, what they don't realize, or what you can never know, is the other side of the feasibility study that these multilateral companies do before coming to the fiscal feasibility studies. And that is that everything that happens physically first takes place spiritually. As we say, that is how life has been. The non-physical controls the physical. The Bible says, out of the invisible cometh the visible. So anything that comes into conscious manifestation or physical manifestation must first take place in the non-physical. So for instance, let me give a classical scenario. Where is he say? Florida, what is he say? Before Nini say. It wasn't in a physical consciousness like this. It wasn't within physical manifestation like this, but it existed in somebody's consciousness, which is the non-physical state. And the person meditated on it, thought about it, brooded over it in his consciousness, and at a certain point in time, when the whole feasibilities within his non-physical consciousness was matured, it brought it into manifestation. So that, likewise, if you want to set up a business, this is how you have to, you must conceive the business non-physically. So what the Bible says that in the beginning the earth was null and void, and darkness on the, and the Spirit of God was brooding. That means that the Spirit was conceiving. So, and he said, let there be light. And there was light. And he saw that the light was good. Before he brought that light into manifestation, he had to conceive the light in the non-physical before bringing it to manifestation. So when he brought it into manifestation, who said light now conceiving in the non-physical, and about physical, and it is as perfect as he perceived it in the non-physical. That is how it is like. So when you want to set up a business, obia ewo idea yediamanu within the non-physical space. Everybody has his strength. Everybody has his abilities. Some have 5 abilities, 2 abilities, 1 ability. When you read the Bible talks about giving out talent. So some give 5 talent, 10 talent, 1 talent, all those things. Now, unye ejuma because who say obi ejuma koso into open say uyebi. Because me who be a water company. I have a friend who opened a whole water company, bought all the trailers and everything. It collapsed. And after a while, all by mission them say, who said metaphysics or spirituality? Water is not your area. But he invested so much money. But when they saw a person who used to remember branded one of the big pure water company brands, or say a person to show
the best shocking the crowd say rubber a whole roll now. What on in a
yes. No, the machine is Susanna. Or say guy in it, I say guy in there. That is not your space. In talk as you are talking right now, or starting metaphysics, and say now or outside, any PhD, or consult, we see a big ashram or central region. You see, so you don't do things because people are doing it. Because Abraboma here one obia one examination paper, obia one question so. Tell me in the last video, no. Into who should be question, who should be answer now. You are making mistake because over 7 billion people now was assisting obia one questions. Though we are in the life, so you don't look at somebody. Because when you look at somebody and at the end of the day you make a mistake. I know a woman at time I work crack at that man or Tom. Your friend who say go pay. That's a nickname, not on a Browning Cartier. You work crack at that time no. Or the friend Marco invest BBA but no on. As we talk right now, Okoha or still or what talk BBA and the man person will just say no, this is because this is what she knows how to do, and that's what she was called to do. I was watching a video, that one I can mention because it's in the public space, where he interviewed him, Zoom Lion. Now he made a video recently, and I can say, before he had a company called Just Pond Printing Press. No, he was into printing.
No, printing checkbooks in any
yes. No, the checkbooks, yeah, he printed the Checkpoint. Checkpoint was the one printing the checkbook, but that Just Pond was printing a lot of security jobs too. I was like just like the Checkpoint, appointed time screen printing company too.
No, a lot of companies.
Yes, but I say they went to prayer camp or something, and say uncle sanitation business. No, you understand? Well, that is what he says. But when you watch, are there from afar, no, you know that something went on before that realization came into manifestation. But he being a Pentecostal will tell you the orthodox way of presentation. And Okachen say he's proud of the color. And the color now or use for Zoom, that's I think the orange or blue something. He will use it every time, wherever he goes, and he will never change it. You see, so when somebody starts speaking and you understand how things work in the non-physical, you know where the person is coming from and how all those things. And no wonder when he was able to start up that business, when they or just want, it is only some of us who were in the printing and advertising space who knew him. But now everybody knows him all over the globe, including the World Bank. He is all over African countries, doing all over projects everywhere. That is how when you find your space, you can comfortably operate and be very successful. Aside the fact that you may have other spiritual supports to raise your vibration and influences when you are meeting people to have business negotiation with people, because other people are using certain influences that you need to raise your vibration. But the most and important thing is identify your space spiritually. When I talk about space, I'm talking about which profession is best for you, what business is best for you to enter into that space. And everybody has that space, depending on the house within which and the element. Just imagine, obi or your fire element, or turn into and also manufacture water. What do you think you're doing?
What do you think you are doing? You are watching the biggest and the largest. Get through to me after the show. You know how to get through to me after the show. Talk to me after the show, Bima. I believe say oh share. Okay, so say if I FM what my we break it near money down into my 3 things be we should not even try to do if you belong to this part or that part. And then if you should you should start the business about what you need me say me yes and then I say put it into places when you see career I decided business no na we best start say oh spiritual way no and now so say you look for spiritual way no when we say the one seed in the best start. How do we start this whole process?
Yeah, so before even thinking about money, you must first identify that natural ability. Because obia a natural ability. Now say obeko school course will be ready. So be investing into business will be investing to match with your natural ability. Because I know that you have been given all the natural potencies to manifest so easily. For instance, I'll give you another classical scenario. One say Bafo Jan was a footballer, but he didn't make much shine like the brother Samuel Jan. Almost spiritual master, no. I catch say no. Fine, ball is not your natural space. But brother be on a ball any natural space. Into friend bra. Into once about that is why, because he's very grateful to his brother, because Obi Wanka bitterness on yet. But because the brother showed him much love, and also why reverse say no manage all the estates and the business and everything, so that they've created a balance. You get the whole thing. So when you identify your space, when I talk about space, your natural ability that is the first thing. So before you even think of money, because business is not about money. My father told me growing up that, son, business is trust. Find your space. Be truthful in your dealings, and then the opportunity will come by itself. So look, there are a lot of people who are so wealthy that they want people that they can trust within their space and then finance them. So it's not about money. Yeah, money plays a role, but it's not, your thinking should be your money. The most important thing you should think of is how to identify your natural ability. If not so, they can give you the whole world money. We are sitting up here, papa, it be a business. Now, business will be very successful. We want a business, I said, because Akolano is not.
Only our energy need
yes,
to
that
control that space.
That space. In terms of that business, no, but once a business, we also be papa onim ade kakra no onim when I say onim ade you understand so you understand spirituality no obehwe ni manu bi mu do an element na wafa back we train na or handle no sometimes once was akwala wo mu no not ordinary say he should manage the business but all the finances should be disbursed by the earthly one because when say akwala ni element no e match with the business now or no papa now you know. So that is how you need to find your space first. That's the first and foremost thing. And your space now we're finding is your date of birth. There are so many things that goes in, but we have the general one. So what I want to do, what I prepared to bring is to give people the general idea.
Okay, that's nice.
Of your house, any element, you know, and the possible businesses are over to me here. Now, if you want a more detailed one, then we need to get other informations. So inti another inti mbacho ye try ebe dosu kakranti ye try na
we dey try na wo can so that they will have opportunity to ask questions
inti yeah no na mo hwe
abusia obi anfa book bi o ente san so dey eno ane say we be go back and forth sa na wo bie na wo hwe na wo kwa wachi why
okay inti we we take it from the first house. We have 12 houses according to the astrological readings. You know? We have 12 houses, and these 12 houses is made up of 4 elements. Now, these 4 elements are water, fire, and air, water, fire, and earth. Obia belong to one of these elements. Now, this element determines and influences the kind of abilities you have naturally. I'll be to me with ease. The same inkwala from the same ovaries and from the same sperm, they have not 2 different abilities altogether.
Even twins?
Yes, even twins. Identical twins who have 2 different abilities altogether because the timing and everything plays a role in this thing. So we take from the first house, which is March 21st to April 20th. These things we are going to talk about, they are just natural. These are the general ones. But the question is that one says, who the specifics in the general one are other elements we didn't
check we calculate your own date of birth because when if we March it's like a zodiac, so the mass.
Yes. So who date of birth the vibration of your name, the date of birth, you know, and then the day you were born, you know, then you can now have an idea of which of them you can select. But that notwithstanding, you know, if you are born within this space, any of these businesses that we do, the general ones, when you do it, it's fine. It will work. So, first one we have mechanic, clergy. Yeah. Military.
Soldier for.
Law. Administration. Police. Hunters. Or hunting. Surgeon or surgery. Fire service.
Uniform personnel.
Boxing.
Hey.
Arts. Etc. I can't write everything, etc. There are a lot of them, but these are the main general ones. So if you watch all these professions this is a fire element.
And which zodiac is that?
That's the first element. I think this is Leo.
Okay.
Yeah, but I did more with the elements and then the houses because of.
I think that's.
Yeah. So this, if you were the professions, you realize that these are professions that has to deal with the energy of fire. Because you need some kind of vibrancy before you can operate within. When you're a mechanics it deals with energy. The engines and combustions all deals with fire. The clergy, you need certain level of fire element when you want to enter into healing and all those things. Military also you have to firebrand before you become a military officer. A law have the same thing. As an administrator to managing people as an administrator, you must be a little bit hot. Police deals with the same issue.
It's fire. Anything that deals with saving.
Yes, saving or zeal, enthusiasm, energy. So whereas all the professions here relate to that.
Repairing.
Yeah, or fixing things. Okay, so the next house we are dealing with is